Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am doing a quick little intro and outro to my cream blush repressing slash remelting video that you guys have been requesting. I forgot that I was supposed to film an outro and an intro, so I put away like most of my lights, but thank God my ring light is still out. So if my lighting looks a little bit weird, it is because I forgot that I needed to do this, but without making this very, very long-winded, I do have some overhead shots of me repressing and mixing in some things into my cream blushes that I make out of my lip products. So if you guys are curious to see me make my cream blushes, then go ahead and stick around because we are getting into overhead shots right now. Hey everyone, we are doing the long-awaited repressing, quote unquote, of my cream blush. So I do have my cream blushes in this compact, a more red one and a more brown one. And then I have my bigger cream blushes here, a more brown one, and then my ready pink one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the red and the brown out of this, putting them into their respective colors. And actually, I just thought about this. I have a cream highlighter that I came into possession of, and I want to mix that in here as well and just kind of get that out of the way. It's a cream highlighter that is too dark for me, and I got it in like a grab bag for something, but I want to go ahead and just mix that into my blushes as well. So let me grab that and we will get to mixing and decanting and all that jazz. All right, the camera angle might have changed a little bit because I had to move my camera to get the cream highlighter, but I do have my heat gun and I have a alcohol wipe, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe down my spatulas while I'm talking. But I do use a heat gun that I got at the hardware store. It gets extremely hot, so I will be very, very careful not to be touching this metal part. That's also why I have towels down, because it will burn the top of my table. I was chatting with one of you guys in the comments of my Project Pan video about using an alternative heat source, and I think a hair dryer might do this and melt lipsticks, but I don't own a regular hair dryer, so I can't tell you guys one way or the other. But I know that the wonderful person who was chatting with me about that, she said that she would try it and that she would get back with me and let me know if it worked. But let's go ahead and, like I said, we have our brown shade and we have our pink shade. I'm trying to see how much of the cream high, I've already mixed quite a bit of this in to these products. So let me see. And I think I can maybe get rid of the rest of this also by mixing some of this into my bronzer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit in each for now. So, and I say a little bit, but you know, go big or go home. Here's what I'll do. I'll scrape all of it and make it flush, and then whatever is still left in here, this is what I'll mix in with my cream bronzer to make it a little bit more glowy. So we have our two pieces right there. And then I think what I'm going to do, because I do not have pans in this one anymore, it is just down to the plastic. I think I'm just going to have to get in there with my spatula, scrape everything out that I can, and kind of go from there. So this is the more brown side. And there is some of this highlighter mixed in. You can kind of see it being speckled in the red shade. So we will see what we can get done. All right, I brought my other spatula in just to see if I can get a little bit more product out of these pans. Oh yeah, we're getting more out. I think that might be as good as we're going to get it, but I am okay with that. That's not a whole lot wasted. And what I'll probably end up doing is I'll set this aside, and when I do my makeup tomorrow, I'll just dip my sponge into that and kind of pick up the rest of that product. But I'm not really, let me see, I don't want to set that down on the towel, but I'm not worried about like quote unquote cross contamination of the shades. And so I'm just going to go straight in. And the original base that I used for this was the ColourPop blush stick in Pretty Thing. And so it was that deep kind of red color that you're seeing underneath there. So definitely we're going to be adding quite a bit of red to this pinky shade, but I am totally okay with that. And then once again, go in with our other spatula as the puppy dogs are barking. We had people here working at the house today, so the dogs have been on high alert. All right, so that is all cleaned out, and like I said, tomorrow whenever I do my makeup, I'll just dip my sponge into there and pick up everything else I can. But otherwise, we have our two amounts in here. And of course, if you guys are doing this with a lipstick, it is basically just digging everything out of the lipstick and getting it into whatever container you're going to be repressing it into. I'm going to break up the highlighter a little bit just to make it melt a little bit easier, and also to kind of distribute that highlight through the rest of the product. And we'll do the same thing on the red side. And I'm even gonna dig down in the actual product that was already there and mix all this in, because again, that will get everything incorporated to where it's not as difficult to melt down the product and incorporate it all together. So it's kind of messy in the beginning, but we will, as I get even more messy, but we'll get it looking good in a second. See those chunks of that highlighter? I want to try to get those mixed in. You don't want to keep high heat on products like this for too long. They will start to burn, as Malcolm continues to bark in the background, but they will start to burn a little bit, so you do want to be careful about not too much exposure to high heat. But that is kind of a good consistency and mixture. So what I'm going to do is I have it on my fingers, but I have my heat gun plugged in. So we'll go ahead and get some heat onto this. Once I have it melted a little bit, of course, be very cautious. This is now very, very hot. So if you're using a heat gun at home also, do not touch that metal tip because it'll burn you in a heartbeat. So with it a little bit melted, I am just going to mix and incorporate in even more. And then we'll put more heat back on it. And there is blush number one. I'm going to leave it flat. If I tilt it up, then the product will start running. But we'll go ahead. Sometimes I'll tap it and get some of those air bubbles out. And I know I'm doing a horrible job at showing you guys what I'm doing. But those right there are air bubbles. So we can either get them out now, or you'll end up finding them as you start to use your product. So with this one, I'm just going to set it to the back and let it set up a little bit, and we will work on our brown shade. So same thing with this one. I'm going to run my spatula around. I'm going to break everything up and get that highlighter incorporated into that product. All right, so we got that one mixed up. We're going to get some heat on it. And I'm only turning this to the low heat setting. There are two settings on my heat gun. So we're doing a low setting, and then I'm staying anywhere from probably 4 to 6 inches above the product. Alrighty, and we have this one all mixed together, and I'm going to trade these out and set this one into the back so it can set up a little bit. This one has set up enough to where I can handle it. I'm going to clean up the edges a little bit because, again, I don't like to use my astrology sign as a reason for me to be not nitpicky, but I like things the way I like them. But I am a Virgo, so I'm going to grab some Kleenex and we're going to clean up the rim a little bit and make it look really nice. Alrighty, so I like to do this when the product is still a little bit warm, so it's still setting up, but you can always already see that beautiful color. But I just am running a Kleenex around the rim to clean up the threads of the pot as well. You can do this with a Q-tip. You can even do this with like the remnants of the alcohol wipe and just get in there and clean up the jar as much or as little as you want to. Because I do Franken a lot, I like to keep my containers and my workstation relatively clean, because since I am mixing things together, I don't want to be introducing a bunch of, bacteria or cross-contaminating. I don't want to be doing that with my products. All right, so I did clean up the edges of both of these pans. Sorry for any weird cuts. I've been having issues with my battery with my camera. I have a battery dummy coming in the mail on Tuesday, but I'm filming this on a Sunday, so it doesn't help me out right now. But the battery on my camera, even though it's plugged in, is dying in like 5 minutes. So that is fun. And I still have another video that I'm supposed to film this weekend. But this is how these two came out. So we have the brown one and we have the more pinky red one. Let's give you guys some swatches. So this is our brown shade. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me wipe my finger off. And then this is our red pink shade. Look at those. That's exactly how I wanted them to come out. Those are absolutely beautiful, and they're sheer enough and they are sparkly because I added that highlighter, and these are absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait to put these on my face. But I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing a little behind the scenes on how I remelt down my products and kind of turn other stick or cream products into these beautiful cream blushes. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed seeing the way that I make my Franken Cream Blushes, and I hope that it was helpful for you guys to maybe repurpose some of your items as well. So, of course, I I almost feel like I need to do a disclaimer that like sometimes lip products are not meant to be put on the face, all of that jazz. We're all adults, hopefully. So we know that if we're putting something on our faces, we are doing it with our own knowledge that it might not be the best for us. So tread carefully with your own way of thinking about using lipsticks as cream blushes. It is just what I do. And I know that a lot of you want to repurpose your products as well. So I hope that this was helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log off and put away the rest of my equipment for real this time. Sorry again for the weird lighting, even though it does make the eyeshadow really stand out. I'm kind of digging the low light. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think about the more low light settings that I have going on right now. But otherwise, I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, do all the jazz. This is a bonus video for this month, so I hope that you guys enjoyed. But otherwise, I'm going to catch you in my next one. Bye!